This story begins with a single, chilling message, one that turned an ordinary night into a nightmare. Ryan was just sitting at home, scrolling through his phone like any other evening, when he received a text from an unknown number. The message was simple but terrifying. "You have 10 minutes to live." At first, Ryan thought it had to be a joke. Who would send such a thing? But as the seconds ticked by, the unease settled in. He didn't want to believe it, but something about the message felt real. Panicked, Ryan texted his best friend Mason. "Dude, are you awake?" he wrote. When Mason responded, Ryan quickly explained what had happened, expecting his friend to share in his alarm. But Mason, still groggy from sleep, dismissed it. "Come on, Ryan," he said, laughing it off. "Whoever sent that is probably just some prankster, sitting back and watching you freak out." Ryan tried to see it Mason's way, but the unease wouldn't go away. What if it's not a prank? Ryan wondered aloud. What if someone really means it? Mason, still trying to be the voice of reason, asked, "Do you have any enemies? Anyone who'd want to scare you like this?" Ryan racked his brain. "No, I don't think so. No one." The minutes ticked by, the tension mounting. Ryan tried to convince himself Mason was right, but the fear gnawed at him. And then, he heard it, a faint beeping sound coming from the basement. At first, he thought it might be his imagination, but the sound was real and it was getting louder. He had to check it out. Ryan descended the basement stairs, each step feeling heavier than the last. The beeping intensified, echoing off the concrete walls. And there on the floor was a small device, blinking red, counting down the seconds. It was a bomb. Panic surged through Ryan as he bolted back upstairs. He grabbed his phone, his hands shaking. "Mason, there's a bomb! What do I do?" Mason's voice was frantic now. "Get out, Ryan! Run! Get out of the house!" Ryan raced to the front door, fumbling with the lock. But no matter how hard he tried, it wouldn't open. It was as if the house itself had trapped him. The seconds ticked down. Ryan's messages slowed, then stopped. Mason, realizing the danger, jumped into his car and sped toward Ryan's house. His mind raced with thoughts, desperate to believe he could still save his friend. He thought about every conversation they had, every moment they shared, hoping this wasn't the end. As Mason drove, he kept replaying Ryan's last words in his mind. "The door won't open," Ryan had said. What did that mean? Why couldn't he get out? Mason tried to push those thoughts aside, focusing only on getting there in time. But when Mason arrived, it was too late. The house was in flames, a raging inferno lighting up the night sky. The heat was unbearable, and the air was thick with smoke. Mason could barely breathe as he stood there, watching the devastation unfold. The bomb had detonated, and the house was gone. All that remained was charred debris and the faint, haunting echo of the explosion. Ryan was gone. His friend, his confidant, was no more. Mason stood frozen, unable to comprehend what had just happened. He had heard of terrible things happening to others, but this was too real, too personal. He couldn't save Ryan. He watched as the fire department arrived, too late to make a difference. The flames were finally subdued, but the damage had been done. Ryan's house was destroyed, and with it, a part of Mason's soul. As he stood there, lost in thought, Mason couldn't help but wonder, who sent that message? Why Ryan?